Going live over here on Instagram. Okay. Welcome everybody to another Opening the Doors to Possibilities by Being You Live. I'm really excited to jump into today's topic. So just so you know, if you're watching on Instagram, sometimes I'll be looking at my Facebook friends. And if you're watching on Facebook, sometimes I'll be looking at my Instagram friends, okay? So if it looks like I'm doing this all the time, it's because I am. So today's topic is, what if you were never wrong? What if there's nothing wrong with you? It's kind of a deep dive for a 20-minute live, but let's do it. If you have questions, please put them in the chats. But I think on Facebook, I can only see like one line of questioning because we're streaming in 3 places. But come over to Instagram, put them on the chat. We do have translation in a number of languages. If you want that, you need to go to somewhere on Facebook. And someone could put it in all of the comment sections. Okay, so diving in. What if you were never wrong? What I wanted to invite you to today is actually more of an energy of like going back in time, like a choice to go back in time with me today and look from a different place. And I know that like if you've never done that before, it seems kind of wacky, but if you would just humor me, because you love me, will you just humor me because you love me? And if you don't love me, that's fine. Humor me anyways. Okay. Basically, our life is created by our choices. Okay. Now, when we're very little, our choices are groomed by the adults in our lives. Okay. Yes or no? So who told you what was right, what was wrong? Who told you how to be a good person? Who told you what the rules were of the world? It's our parents a lot of the time, and like society at large. So our teachers, our church people, church administrators, pastors, and otherwise, right? Maybe older siblings, aunties, uncles. Everybody has a point of view about what's right, what's wrong, and what you should choose to be good in this world. Okay. So all I'm asking today is that as we look at this, if you just be willing to question, not to find an answer, and not to blame anybody, not to get angry at the world or anything like that. But if we start to allow question into our world and go, wow, I've never really looked at it that way. It's not, wow. You brought in your horizon. You brought in what's possible for you when you're willing to go to question. Okay. So back to us as little beings. Okay, so we're like big beings, in little bodies. We come into the world, right? And we're there with mom and dad. And I know when I had my babies, there were a ton of people around telling me through the whole pregnancies, all the pregnancies that I had, what I should do to take care of this young person. Okay. Are you going to breastfeed? What are you going to feed them? How are you going to diaper them? What are all of that, right? Right down to what are you going to name them? Okay. Baby gets put in my arms for the first time. And now it's like, hey, what is their feeding schedule? Hey, what is the right feeding schedule? How do we put them to bed? Here's the right way to put them to bed. If they're not sleeping, there must be something wrong with them. Okay. And we're always looking for in our lives what's wrong so we can fix it and get it right. So we can feel better about something. Okay. And that becomes an intrinsic way of being in the world. Okay. Where if you don't feel well, you're looking for what's wrong with your body. If something's not going right, you're looking for what's wrong so you can get it right. Okay. Are you with me? Give me an amen. Give me a hallelujah. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Berta. I'm seeing you, Lara. Hi, guys. Okay. So all I want to address today is this structure. For a lot of people, even those that have done access consciousness classes, you can go a long time before you really look at the underbelly of this as a system. Okay. So here you are, little, everybody, all the nurses, or here's how you do it. You go home, then there's grandma and grandpa who want to contribute to mom and new babies and telling them how they did it. Okay. And then you grow up a little bit and you go to a school or a preschool, maybe you're 4, and you get there and there's a right way to behave there. There's a right way to, and you just kind of fall into the system. It's like, this is what you're supposed to do. I was having a really cool conversation with a magical young unicorn yesterday about like what it's like to be in school with her teacher. And what we identified was like, the teacher's taught that to be a good teacher, she needs to control. Okay. So she needs to do control. And part of control has a lot to do with this underbelly of showing respect. Okay. And we explored yesterday in classes, like different cultures have different respect ideals. So in order to show respect in school, you learn that you sit down, you don't talk during certain times, you go to the bathroom at this time, you have to do this kind of homework, you need to write this way, you need to read this way, here's the right version of you, we're going to help you get there. Thank you. And what else is possible? Okay. Because even if the thing about polarity is that you can't have one without the other. Okay. That's why they're a system. So if you're constantly being told what's right, you are simultaneously being told what's wrong. Okay. Schools have like standardized testing, at least in the US. So every year you have to take this huge test to prove how right your school is. If your teacher's teaching you the right thing. And if it's getting in, and that's how they get their funding. So they've got to get you right. You've got to be right. So they get their money. Now, this is not about like shaming teachers or shaming the school system. I'm not going there today. I just want people to hear, you guys to hear the system of which has created us always feeling wrong. Okay. You are welcome, Dr. Sinamarica. I probably fucked that up big time, but okay. So there's this structure that is often like running everything. And like I do parenting classes once a month. And one of the things that we explore in there is we're there to unparent ourselves, but not to make our parents wrong. Because guess what they had? Our parents had parents. And guess what our parents' parents had? Parents. Okay. And society. And all part of the same system. Okay. And it's a wonder that if we're constantly being told right and wrong, that when we make a mistake, we feel wrong. The adult wants us to know we're wrong so that we could get us right, so that we don't have to have a consequence or whatever. So then what happens? We go off in the world, and how do we navigate? We have the voices in our head from all the adults in our lives keeping us on track, right and wrong. Okay? I know all of us have had some scenario that just plays in our head over and over and over again, taking us back there like a PTSD. And what we don't identify is the PTSD from just being on this planet, in this body, in this system. There's a PTSD that rolls over and over in your head. I will address that in just a second. Rolls over and over and over in your head of, like I was taught this, whether you go, oh, mom said this, that's mom's voice or dad's voice, or you try to identify, it doesn't matter because it's not about them. But you pull all that in and you go, okay, cool. Am I doing it right? Am I getting it right? And guess what happens right after if you decide you're not? You must be wrong. Okay? And here's the fun thing about right. I finally got me right. Well, then you have to hold on to that and never let it change because you never want to be wrong again. And something else is possible or greater beyond that you could choose. And you were like, no, I might have to let go of right. I won't choose that. I won't allow that in because I'm finally fucking right. Thank you, Maribel. So either sides of the spectrum of right and wrong limit you. So what I'd like to do today, I'm going to go back and answer this. MN says, thank you for this. Might I ask, what's a unicorn and a dragon with respect to the baby terms? They're just like, so Dr. Dane here has 2 books, the Baby Unicorn Manifesto and the Baby Dragon Manifesto. And I have never asked him this, but I think it was just another magical creature element that, if that's what you're talking about, to write another kid's book about. So the unicorn book, like a lot of girls love that, and the dragon, the boys love, I don't know, and vice versa. I'm not trying to like gender role solidify anything, but maybe that answers your question. Okay, so here we are. What if you were parented the way that I'm going to attempt to unparent you in the next 3 minutes? Okay, so what if you're born and you had a parent there that had these tools and they were like, whatever I have to do, I'm never going to tell my kid how wrong they're wrong. So what I'm going to do is that anytime there needs to be something brought to the table with my kids, I am going to ask them a question. I'm going to ask them what they were aware of when they chose the thing that makes them feel wrong or makes them get judged by other people. I'm going to ask them questions to get to what they would like to choose next time if they don't like how this worked out. So kid makes a choice. Let's say it's little. They run and they fell down a stairs or something. They're little. They're like 2. I don't know. And you're like, wow, that was an interesting choice. Okay, what do you know about the stairs now? How did that feel? What are you aware of? Okay, and as you get older, what if, they come home and they're fighting with a friend and you're this kid, okay? And the parent says to you, okay, what would you like to have happen with this friend? What's the greatest outcome that you could come up with? And you as the child's like, well, honestly, I'd really like to be friends with them again, but I'm really mad. Okay, cool. Tell me about what you're mad about. Tell me what upset you. How would you like to be treated? What do you have to choose to create that? Do you have to have your back more? Is there a way you could approach this instead of letting yourself get so angry that you don't understand what's going on anymore because you're so angry? Oh, you have a problem with the teacher. Okay, cool. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to make the teacher right and you wrong. So let's talk about it. What do we know about the teacher? What does the teacher require? What outcome would you like with the teacher? Well, I'd like the teacher to like me. Okay, what does the teacher require in order for you to have that? Okay, so then they get older. Maybe they make a bigger mistake. Air quotes on mistake. Okay. Maybe they go against like some house rule that you have, or you catch them sneaking out of the house or something, and you know that that's not really a safe choice. So what if you sat up, what if, and I'm doing this a little backwards, sorry, in my head. If that was you and you made a choice and you knew that it didn't create, if the adult was like, hey, did you get the awareness you required? Did you get the awareness you required? Okay, cool. And what if it was about the conversation rather than the consequence of right and wrong? Now, I'm not saying don't give your kids consequences. It's like if you're choosing daily what creates for you and your kids, then you don't have to take anything as like solid. But I'm just asking you, for you walking through life, if no one ever told you were wrong and never told you what the right choice was, and always asking you for your awareness, can you tap into where you would be today with judging you? What would be possible beyond having to judge you all the time? And what if that same energy is how you can choose to talk to you? What if you could make a choice and go, wow, well, that didn't work out how I'd like, or that didn't create what I would like to have. Okay, cool. What can I choose next time? And what awareness did I get from that choice? Oh, that using this language really upsets this person. Okay, all right. Is their upset worth me looking at making a different choice? Is it something that really matters to me? Is it relevant to my life? I know they're making me wrong, but I don't have to feel wrong. What if this gave me awareness? If we can get out of right and wrong, you guys, the way to create our lives, or the possibilities, the doors opening, become something you can perceive in a totally different way. I always tell my team and friends and whoever is like, please don't go to wrongness. Like whatever just showed up in our business, what is the awareness we're getting? What can we choose next time? Please don't go to wrongness, because all it does is slow us down. We have to slow down and address the wrongness and get you out of the crunch so that then we can choose the next thing. If you don't go to wrongness and you go, okay, cool, I made a choice. This didn't create. What would we like to choose next time? We can keep moving. But when we go to wrongness about ourselves, it is heavy. It is like weights on your ankles. Judgment slows things down. Judgment stops things. Thought stops creation. So um, a question you can play with is really simple. It's right in the title. Like, what if you were never wrong? What if I was never wrong? Okay, everywhere I want to go to wrongness with this situation, take a situation right now, look at it. Everywhere I just want to make myself wrong or someone else wrong. What if wrongness was not the path to creation? What if what I received from the live today, I could ask more questions about in regards to the polarity, the system, the underbelly that's controlling all of us? If I just ask some questions, go, wow, is that light for me? Is it light for me that right and wrong, good and bad has been so entrained that that is the system of which I judge myself by and limit myself with? What if there was something else possible? What if asking question empowers me to look at something totally different rather than being in the autopilot of said polarity system? I'm doing my best to not make even the system wrong. It's just what is here. But I also bought into it for a really, really long time. It's how I like created my perfectionism point of view, like how I had to do it so much control and judgment in order to attempt perfect until I realized perfect was a lie. There's no such thing. Um, and all it did was limit me. But if there was a time that I couldn't have heard that, like people were there trying to invite me to a different possibility in my life, and I'd be like, I don't get it. Like, of course there's right and wrong. There's like child abuse out there. There's horrible things that are out there that are fucking wrong. How can you tell me there's no right and wrong? But it's more of looking from the place of, if that system wasn't in place, would I be able to perceive the energy of a choice and what it creates in the world, and if it empowers or if it disempowers, and not have to put it in the polarity system, just have to look at the choice and go, doesn't create for me, I'm not choosing it. Okay. How many people are creating atrocities in the world because of their addiction to wrongness? Maybe too deep for life. Meaning, you know, those people who just always want to like do self-hate, that are just like addicted to how awful they are and that they don't deserve to be here. A lot of times those are the people that are going and create, like, choosing things that are unkind and abusive towards others because they will get all the wrongness projected, and that's actually what they're desiring to create because they're addicted to the polarity. But again, back to, what if there was no polarity? Would there be wrongness to be addicted to? Would they have to go make choices that abuse others so they can feel wrong? They can put wrongness on others and swim in all of that if there was no wrongness? Would that even be occurring? That's my question. I don't know. What I know is that I would like to create my life without the hold of the judgment of me. And I'm inviting anybody who would like to hear any of these tools to come play with me. Let's look at what it would look like for you to go, wow, if I didn't have to judge myself all the time, what could I choose? What would be possible? So this, no, not this. Next Saturday, I'm doing a one-day class. I'm gonna. It's. Hold on, put it on here. The class is called Opening the Doors to Possibilities. And if you purchase a raffle ticket for Elugar, and if you don't know about Elugar, just go to the website, sarahgrandinetti.com. I'm trying to find my banner, but it's not working. sarahgrandinetti.com/doors. And you can check it out where you go and there you go. If you buy a raffle ticket for $100, you fill out a form, you get a $200 off coupon for my class, 8 hours diving into these tools for $100. Okay. And we get to contribute to Elugar. If you don't know about Elugar, I don't have a ton of time to talk about it, but the other live we did the other day, I've done a ton of lives, but I go to lel-lugar.com. It's this beautiful eco resort that Access Consciousness is inviting the world to. in Costa Rica, and I just really love to support that creation. So basically, you can have this class for $100 where we dive into tools like this that we're talking about today. And I will just say that the life I'm living today is hugely based on the Access Consciousness tools that are in the Being You Changing the World book, that are in this class and in the manual that you'll get for the one day. It's translated in a whole bunch of languages. So if you're listening to translation right now, whether in a recording or live, that language will be on class, okay? But I'll leave you today because I got to jump to something else. But I will say, what if you weren't wrong? What if you never were wrong? What if wrongness never had to exist? And what if you could choose something so different that changes it for the world? Okay. Mwah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, translators. Thank you, team. I will see you again for another live on the 26th, which is someday next week. I don't know what day, but it's the 26th. See you guys later. Bye. And end over here.